Welcome, everybody. If you could please stand, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you today to the graduation of the class of 2020. We've been through a lot, and this is going to be an outstanding way to celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of a great group of young men and women at Air Academy High School. Before we get started with our program, I would like to say a few thank yous. This has been a long time coming, a lot of preparation, and I think we're on about our fourth or fifth version of graduation for this year. So with that, I would like to recognize our Air Academy graduation team. First of all, Miss Janie Olson. Where's Miss Olson? If we could give her a round of applause. Right over there in the corner. Miss Joni Knockbar. Where's Miss Knockbar? If we could give her a round of applause. Not sure where she is, but she hears us. Dr. Eric Beers. Thank you, Dr. Beers. And last but certainly not least, guiding his last graduation as he goes into retirement, the man himself, Mr. Glenn Hoyt. We also have two district officials that have been instrumental in organizing this event. First of all, Miss Mary Elsner. I believe she's in the back. And Dr. Smith for organizing this. And a special shout out to Superintendent Gregory and the Board of Education for submitting the appropriate waivers so we could have this event and recognize our wonderful graduates and share it with you, the family members of the class of 2020. So once again, if you could please give a round of applause for all those people that helped organize this event. Thank you. We are joined today on stage with dignitaries from the District 20 office. First of all, I would like to recognize our two Board of Education members, our Air Academy representative for this year, Mr. Thomas LaValle, and the board president, Mrs. Karen Reynolds. We also have several district officials, my boss and assistant superintendent, Dr. Jim Smith, and our superintendent of schools, and I'll introduce him before his speech in a little greater depth, but Mr. Thomas Gregory. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our very own Miss Sydney Barnes, your student body president. Sydney.
I would like to welcome the administration, teachers, and members of the board. For the family and friends that cannot be here today and are watching through the screen, thank you for supporting the class of 2020. We could have not been here without you. A big welcome and thank you to Mr. Olson and Mr. Gregory for allowing our unique class to be together on this special day. But most importantly, welcome class of 2020. Strength, persistence, and grit will forever bond us together. Starting on August 23rd, we joined together in the senior parking lot to begin our final Friday Night Lights, homecoming halftime shows, musicals, senior night sporting events, DECA, FBLA, and forensic competitions. These will all build the class of 2020's cadet culture. Throughout our 4 years of high school, our award-winning marching band has been invited to the Rose Bowl parade. Our boys varsity soccer team has won 2 state championships, along with our JROTC program also winning a state championship. These are but of the few amazing things that the class of 2020 has been a part of. Now, we might have lost Powder Puff junior year and senior year, not our strong suit, but the talent and knowledge that the class of 2020 brings to the table is unmatched. While portraying these qualities, the class of 2020 will be people of character and resilience that will build the future of America. Parents, staff, family, and friends, we could not have done it without you. We are strong, we are persistent, and we are full of grit. So starting on August 23rd in the senior parking lot, to now, June 22nd in our graduation seats, as one door opens and another one closes, class of 2020, go out and make your mark. Thank you.
Great job, Sydney. Congratulations to you, the class of 2020. You made it. From the first day of freshman year through the great toilet paper shortage of 2020, it has all come down to this. I am so proud of you and what you have accomplished. During this time, it is important to give thanks to all of the people that have helped along your journey. I would like to thank the dedicated staff of Air Academy High School for the time they have spent teaching, guiding, mentoring, and encouraging you along the way. Outstanding teachers like the 2020 Air Academy High School Teacher of the Year, Mr. Glenn Hoyt, and the 2020 Senior Selected Teacher of the Year and today's guest speaker and Air Academy grad, Mr. Jason Bueller. I would like to give a sincere and heartfelt thank you to your parents and guardians for the countless hours that they have invested in your education. It has all come down to this. Graduates, please stand and give your parents, guardians, and families a huge round of applause and thank you. Thank you very much. Most of all, seniors, I would like to thank you. Thank you for your commitment to the school and for helping create the best environment and culture possible. Thank you for 4 outstanding years. Your class has accomplished great things, many of which Sydney has just outlined. Air Academy, in your 4 years, has won state championships in girls cross country, girls track and field, and boys soccer twice. You have been state marching band champs twice. You have marched in the Rose Parade and performed at Carnegie Hall in New York City. You have done and accomplished outstanding things. As a class, you have earned over $10 million in college scholarships and have been selected to some of the most prestigious colleges and universities in the country. I know your parents are proud of that. Great job. You have definitely left a mark on Air Academy High School, and you certainly have left a mark on me. I will miss you all more than you will ever know. I will miss watching you perform, like hearing a great sax solo by Thomas Elgis, or watching a beautiful silk performance high above the auditorium stage by Michaela Hine. I will miss hearing you sing, like Zachary Ridding and Molly Giberson performing in front of a standing room only crowd. I will miss watching our actors and actresses like Isaac Whitaker and Aubrey Miller become fully immersed in their characters. I will miss watching you on the field and on the courts, like watching Christian Jones pancaking a defensive lineman or Kylie Blackston making the game-winning shot. I will miss watching athletes like Kelton, Aiden, and Thaddeus play soccer. I don't think I'll like watching Thaddeus and the boys in powder puff cheerleading, though. That's a memory I don't think I'll ever get out of my mind. Yeah, Reagan, you organized that. That's your fault. I will miss watching our JROTC cadets like Loudon Archuleta and Andrew Pixley leading our younger cadets and cadets. I will miss reading Mita's social media posts and watching all of you work hard in class and having students like Haley Payne try to explain what the calculus lesson is all about. I think that was in Vail. I will miss watching students like Julia Gentry and Hope Crawford Guerna lead and create clubs which support all. Great job, ladies. You inspire me every day. I will miss hearing from our transfer students and choice students like Olivia Jacobson and Connor Dalrymple talk about how much they love Air Academy and how great it is to have joined our family. I will miss meeting with our student council leadership team, Sydney, Maddie, Megan, Will, Millie, Reagan, Kane, Audrey, Alexis, Caroline, Alana, Lana, and Austin. You did an amazing job leading our school and leading our class. Great job. I will miss hearing from an extremely enthusiastic Julia Fenn talk about a wonderful lesson she just came from or her latest forensics competition. Most of all, I will miss hanging out and talking to you, the little moments that mean so much to me. I will miss seeing my hallway homie, Eli Andrew, and talking about our similar tastes in music. I will miss talking to our front office aides, like Naheem Collins Sanders and Layla Solis, even when she told me I look like her grandpa. I'm not old enough to be a grandpa yet. I grade early, believe me. I will miss making TikTok videos with students like Amanda Abbott and hearing all about the different types of fire alarms and how Queen is the best band of all time from Ryan Cricker. I could go on and on and on. Class of 2020, you are an amazing group of people, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you've done for Air Academy and for me for the last 4 years. Please give yourselves a round of applause. You have certainly earned it. At this time, I would like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Tom Gregory. Tom has been very influential in my life. I don't know if any of you knew this, but he's the one who actually hired me to Academy 20 17 years ago when I was a young 33-year-old teacher and coach. He hired me to the district to teach and coach at Rampart High School. And so if you guys want to blame somebody for me, I think that's his fault. So just keep that in mind. But Tom was born and raised in Academy 20. Mr. Gregory has a passion for the educational process and thrives on helping others succeed. He was a classroom teacher for 11 years, a school administrator for 4, and completed his 14th year as a leader for business operations in Academy School District 20 in 2019. He joined the Academy District 20 staff in 1991 as a middle school math teacher at Challenger Middle School. Shortly after, he transferred to Rampart High School, where he served 11 years as a math teacher, math department co-chair, football coach, softball coach, baseball coach, and finally as the Rampart assistant principal and athletic director for 4 of those 11 years. Mr. Gregory became our chief financial officer in 2009 and served in that capacity until 2016 when he added the title of deputy superintendent and chief financial officer. He earned his master's degree in educational leadership and his principal licensure from the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. He earned his bachelor's degree in mathematics and his secondary school teacher license from the University of Southern Colorado. He is a true Academy 20 devotee and a great friend. Please join me in welcoming our superintendent, Mr. Tom Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Olson, for the kind introduction. And most of all, congratulations to the Air Academy High School graduating class of 2020. During the past weeks and months, many of you have reached out and shared your hopes for today. While this ceremony may not look how we imagined, I want to thank each of you for your flexibility, resilience, and positivity. I would also like to thank Air Academy High School class of 2020 student Sydney Barnes for participating on my Student Advisory Council this past year. Sydney, your honest feedback and insightful input have represented the student voice impressively. Thank you. Graduates, you have spent the last 13 years deepening your knowledge of subjects like math, science, social studies, reading, and writing. At the same time, you formed friendships, discovered passions, and dreamed of your future. Today, as you finish the first chapters of your life's biography, we celebrate this milestone. High school graduation is the true beginning of adulthood. It is the most significant academic accomplishment of your developing story. As you begin to write the adult chapters of your biography, I hope, above all, it includes the lifelong acquisition of knowledge, love of country, and kindness to others. But before we look forward, let's take a moment and reflect on what will likely be one of the most unusual chapters of your biography. 2020 has not been typical and will not be a chapter easily glossed over or easily forgotten. In so many ways, this was not a usual year. From numerous weather cancellations and delays, some of you may have forgotten about that, to adding time to the school day, to learning from home, to missing out on many final events and activities. You have been asked to sacrifice much. Your last days and months of school, you have been asked to sacrifice your final assemblies and other recognitions with your peers. Senior activities such as prom, senior breakfast or lunch, and senior sunset. Final sports seasons, theatrical productions, concerts, and various competitions. And now you're sacrificing a traditional graduation ceremony. But I must add, how many times does graduation have it so that you get to sit with your parents at graduation? Some of you may not like that, by the way. I get that. While this has been difficult and not the way you imagined your senior year to end, you're not the first class of graduates asked to make sacrifice. In fact, you can find comfort that you are in good company. Many who came before you and at your exact age made more significant sacrifice. Several generations before you, graduates were drafted to serve and defend our liberties and freedoms in times of war. The graduating classes of the greatest generation were forced to make substantial sacrifices multiple times through the Great Depression, and then again a few years later for World War II. While your obligations are different, just like them, it's been your time to sacrifice. More importantly, it is your time to recover and move forward. They paved the way, and I'm confident you will harness the same grit, determination, and ingenuity. It is during times of hardship and crisis when hope, innovation, and community are born. As you begin to fill your blank pages, I ask you don't get so consumed by your pursuits that you forget to be a good person. This may sound simple, but being a good person presents significant challenges. Think back to kindergarten, where you learned some important lessons. According to Robert Fulghum, author of the book, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, you learned the most important rules of life when you were in kindergarten, and they were not about reading, writing, or arithmetic. You learned what is most important about how to live, what to do, and how to be. In kindergarten, you learn to share. You learn to play fair, to not hit people, to put things back where you found them, to clean up your own mess, not take things that aren't yours, say sorry when you hurt somebody, to not lie or cheat, flush when your business is complete, take a nap every afternoon, and most relevant today, wash your hands often. What you learned in kindergarten essentially is to be a good person. Similarly, when songwriter Lori McKenna was frustrated because her children would not listen to her, she determined to write down her guidance in the form of lyrics to a song. Maybe this would get her kids' attention, she thought. Her song was later recorded by country artist Tim McGraw, entitled Humble and Kind. Now her kids and the rest of the world learn from her simple but impactful and principled words. I'd like to share a few words from her song that you may be familiar with. She writes, "Hold the door, say please and say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always be humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind." This is my challenge to each of you. Simply be a good person. Remember to say please and say thank you. Stay humble and kind as you climb the mountains to your dreams. Today you are moving forward and beginning to script not just chapters, but volumes of your biography. And as you do, be sure to thank those who helped you get here while you take time to celebrate your achievements. Congratulations, Air Academy Class of 2020. I wish you a successful, hopeful, and fulfilling future. Be well and be safe. Thank you.
This time we'll have Heather approach the stage and give her speech.
Welcome, administration, teachers, friends, family, and graduates. We are here to mourn the loss of our second semester of our senior year. But most importantly, we are here to celebrate the 12.75 years of in-class education that has brought us to this moment. I do have to say, there has been one thing over the past 4 years I have not enjoyed: our class color. I hate yellow. But even with my hatred, it became our class color. So, during my freshman year, reluctantly dressed from head to toe in my least favorite color, I developed a theory. Of all things, the theory of yellow. Colors are usually connected to a certain feeling. For example, blue and sadness, red and anger. Yellow is happiness. So, continuing with my theory, I created a scale of yellow. On one end is the yellow school bus, dirtied from thousands of school trips, followed by sandstorm and mustard, then sunshine, and finally, gold. With recent events, maybe I should consider adding hazmat suit yellow. Anyway, my theory uses this scale to determine the level of happiness one is experiencing. Individual moments are the makeup of life, and each of these moments consists of a shade of yellow. Therefore, life itself exists within the scale of yellow, because it is the composite shades of each day that tint the hue of life. As a class, we have ridden the dirty school bus on multiple occasions. Losing Powder Puff 2 years in a row, extending school because of too many snow days, and not to mention, experiencing a global pandemic. However, we have walked in sunshine through winning state championships in soccer and band, waking up at the crack of dawn to deck the halls in yellow, being blessed with a new field, gym, library, and B building. But we have never reached gold. No one has. Gold is a subjective, perfect state. And the process of trying to reach perfection makes us better. Yes, today was great, but tomorrow could be greater. That's the whole point of my theory. Striving for something unattainable pushes us beyond our limits to reach for something that always has the possibility to be better. It forces us to work harder and have a greater appreciation of our personal milestones. Although falling short of gold appears to be a failure, it merely brightens the sunshine. Riding the dirty school bus and reaching for gold go hand in hand. You cannot truly appreciate the potential of gold without first scrubbing off a thick layer of dirt. When you push through the darkest, hardest parts of your life, and recently, we've all been through them, you appreciate every little thing more. It's when you're locked in your house, not allowed to leave, when you beg for the things you used to complain about the most. I would do anything to park in the school parking lot again, or to even sit through an hour-long lecture in a classroom just so I can be closer than 6 feet to someone. Although we have missed so much time together, we must focus on our next steps. Now that we are free to do what we dream of, it is time to make our impact. It is time to make your life that Netflix show that people binge watch until 2 in the morning. It is time to make your life a story people wish they could live. In a few months, we will be sprinkled across the country, maybe even the world, doing a variety of things. A few of us will keep in touch, but this is most likely the last time we will all be together. So, wherever you go, whatever you do, paint it gold. Class of 2020, we did it. Thank you.
Great job, Heather. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Jason Bueller, who will give his speech.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. Good morning, District 20 dignitaries, Air Academy administrators, parents, family, and friends. But most importantly, good morning, Air Academy class of 2020! Or should I call you the class of COVID-19? Of course not. You are all individuals in the Air Academy class of 2020. Unfortunately, however, a lot of people will define the class of 2020, not only at Air Academy or the other D20 high schools, but every graduating class in the world this spring as the class of COVID-19. But they will be wrong. They will be wrong because, well, I haven't had the good fortune of getting to know every one of you individually. I do know enough about you to know that you aren't going to be defined by a pandemic. you will be defined by only one person, you. As I mentioned, I haven't had the pleasure of getting to know all of you. The truth is, I haven't even met a lot of you. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jason Bueller, or Bueller to those who have taken engineering classes. One of the engineering teachers here at Air Academy, and a proud KDET alum from the class of 1988. As a matter of fact, 32 years ago was the last time I got to speak at an Air Academy graduation. So this is kind of cool. And since I teach a specialized elective, I've probably met less than, I'm going to say, a fifth of you, which is why I was so surprised to learn that I had received this honor. So before I go on, I want to give a quick shout out to my honors engineering and design and development students this year. You guys are awesome, and thank you for all you did for me to receive this honor. Great job, guys. But enough about me. Let's get back to the topic at hand. How you have and will define yourself. Over the past 4 years, you have defined yourselves as academic, athletic, and artistic champions. You have defined yourselves to be loyal friends, somehow fiercely independent at the same time, though, dedicated students, and community supporters, among a great many other things. The number of hours your class has spent volunteering in our community is utterly staggering, and the things you have done during this pandemic are truly amazing. A little while ago, Ms. Cullen shared with the staff a partial list of the ways you have contributed to the well-being of our community since the end of March. And well, all I can say is, wow. Great job, cadets. And that's one part of your definition so far. You are true cadets. And actually, what is a cadet? I'm sure during your time at Air Academy, or longer for some of you, you have been asked that same question over and over again. And you've struggled through trying to answer. You may have used the awkward description of a baby falcon that carries a club, or saying that it's not really a thing, it's more of an homage to the Air Force Academy Falcons. Or maybe you used one of a multitude of other descriptions. But none of those descriptions ever felt very satisfying. I know. I've been asked that same question for the last 36 years. But what I've come to realize during that time is that a cadet really isn't a physical thing like a ram or an eagle or a lancer or a thunder. Well, those guys probably have a hard time defining that one too. But to me, a cadet is a state of mind and a way of thinking. A cadet is all of those things you have done. Giving your best, following your dreams and passions, being a good friend, being a good family member, and being a good community member. Or, as some of us older guys might say, just rocking it. After most of his announcements, Mr. Olson says, as always, it's good to be a cadet. Well, that has two meanings. It's good to be a part of the cadet community, and it's good to be defined as a cadet. That is, given our previous definition. Now, your definition was started by your family and added to by your friends, teachers, and coaches. Now, you have added cadet to it. But that is just the beginning. After this graduation, you will move on to the next chapter of your life, and in that chapter, you will add to your definition. Some of you will add student, or artist, or musician, or soldier, or mechanic, or one of a million other things. And then, there will be a multitude of additions after that. Maybe you'll add engineer, or business tycoon, or stay-at-home parent, or rock star, or even President of the United States. Just remember, from here on out, only you get to add to your definition. Or I'm sorry, you get to decide what gets added to your definition. Again, I didn't get to meet all of you, but what I know about those that I did get to meet, and hopefully inspired some additions to their individual definitions, and from what I've heard from the staff here at Air Academy, you are all heading into what the Klingon Chancellor Gorkon described as the undiscovered country, the future, with a very strong initial definition onto which you can add. Yeah, that's right. The engineering teacher just made a Star Trek reference. I know. But class of 2020, as I like to say to all my students, go forth and be productive. Thank you, and best of luck to all of you as you add to your definition.
Awesome, thank you, Mr. Bueller. Our final student speaker of the day, it's my pleasure to introduce Miss Mackie Tate Tigert.
Whether we like to admit it or not, everyone had that one class they looked forward to in high school. Maybe it was racket sports, your math class, or even your morning partial. My favorite class was art history. The title of one of the paintings we studied in this class has since haunted me, in a good way. The piece is by Paul Gauguin and is titled, "Where Do We Come From? What are we doing? Where are we going?" These questions are so simple, yet they carry the weight of something deeper, something more complex. These questions yearn for insight and feed off our identities. They depend on who we think we are. And what a better time than now to reflect on how our time at Air Academy High School and how the toll of these past few months allows us to confidently answer these questions. Where do we come from? Well, we all figured that out in health class. But aside from this, doesn't the answer kind of depend on the person? Maybe you come from your parents. Maybe you come from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Or maybe you come from some place or someone completely unique and special to you. Ultimately, though, we all hold a similarity in coming from one common place. Air Academy is where we come from. In those hallowed halls, we morphed from dweeby freshmen into pretty cocky seniors. In the courtyard, we pelted snowballs at each other on the way to class. In classrooms, we determined the people that make us better and bring out the best sides of our diverse personalities. At lunch, sitting in our cars, we created memories with laughs that will last a lifetime. We come from Air Academy High School, and her reputation is something we can carry with pride as we embark on the next part of our lives. We are now equipped with the knowledge, skills, and character essential to being a responsible citizen of our new communities, our nation, and the world. What are we doing? Every high schooler has asked themselves this question at least once on a daily basis. And in all reality, I don't think any of us actually know what we are doing today. But that's exactly where we should be. What are we doing implies the present. But the question we really should be asking about is the past. What did we do? What we did in high school defines our glory days. One day, we are going to tell our kids about winning back-to-back state soccer championships, barely getting an A in that one class that challenged you more than anything, qualifying for nationals in DECA, marching in the Rose Bowl parade, or that super cheesy but actually really cute promposal you either came up with or accepted. What defines high school for you? Is it sports? Academics? Band? Theater? Friends? Faith? Okay. TikTok? What we did in high school has sculpted us into who we have become today. Who we are is embedded in what we did. So, who are you? What wish does your heart whisper at night before you drift to sleep? Who does your soul cry out for you to be? Who we are and what we did in high school has imprinted us for the rest of our lives. However, imprints can surely fade. Now, we experience a blank slate. We can become someone entirely different or stay the same. And that's the beauty of our identities. They ebb and flow. They stagnate. They plateau. They rise and they fall. Like currents of the ocean, they clash and dance whimsically across our lives. Remember who you were and what you did in high school. Be unafraid of the change you will surely endure throughout the rest of your life, and the changes eclipsing us right now. But, above all, find peace in the revolutions you will surely commence inside your heart, and remember how resilient you are to life's challenges. Where are we going? We are going into the next phase of our lives. As a class, we are going to all four corners of Colorado, to California, Massachusetts, Hawaii, Tennessee, North Carolina, Oregon, and so many more amazing and new places. Some of us are going to college to study incredible things and become game changers in certain career or sport fields. Some of us are going right into the workforce, determined to rebuild our nation. Some of us are enlisting, and some of us are taking a break for a year or two, both with the ultimate goal of selfless serving. No matter what, where we are going is glimmering brightly with the hope of a nouvelle future, and the class of 2020 is now, more than ever, built to embrace this future triumphantly. The class of 2020 has endured unimaginable hardship, but no other class would have handled the obstacles set against them with the grace and dignity we have. There is a poem entitled Still I Rise by Maya Angelou, and in her work, Angelou dares us to rise in two ways. We must rise above the trials life lays before us, and rise to redeem the world around us. In the first way, where the world only sees brokenness and devastation for seniors, we don't. We rise above it. Still we rise above self-pity. Still we rise above displaced anger. And still we rise above vengeance for the loss of our last 3 months of high school. Our tenacity, our perseverance proves we will only continue to rise throughout the rest of our lives. And in the second way, still we rise to face history's shame. Still we rise to rectify past and present wrongdoings. And still we rise to one day leave behind nights of terror and fear and venture into a daybreak that is wondrously clear. It is our generation's obligation to answer love's battle cry and manifest this daybreak, not only now for ourselves, but for the future generations, for our children and grandchildren. This year, we have had the ultimate test of answering where do we come from, what are we doing, and where are we going. These past few months, we haven't had a clear answer. But remember, these questions depend on who we think we are. And after everything we have gone through, not just these past few months, but these past 12 years, the cadets of the class of 2020 will go down in infamy for no reason other than we are cemented in who we are, and we have a resounding and roaring power that creates and yearns for the brightest futures possible. Nothing can nor ever will change that. We are still rising. Thank you.
Great job, Mackie. Seniors, please rise. And now, it is with great pride that I present the members of the class of 2020 to Mr. Tom LaValle and the Board of Education. Mr. LaValle, I hereby certify that these young men and women have met the requirements for graduation from the Air Academy High School and Academy School District 20 and are recommended for their diplomas.
Thank you, Dan. On behalf of the Board of Education of Academy District 20, I accept with pride and pleasure the 2020 graduating class of Air Academy High School. Mr. Olson, thank you and your staff for an outstanding job.
Thank you, Mr. LaValle. Seniors, you may now sit. Our readers will now get ready to read the names of our graduates.
Amanda Lauren Abbott.
Ethan Scott Abbs.
Coleman Gunnar Adams.
Austin Alexander Alfaro.
Olivia Bo Allaby.
Caricia Isabel Alvor.
Ethan Miles Amoruso.
Lane Diet Anderson.
Eli Thomas Andrew.
Loudon Michael Archuleta.
Heather Nicole Buscher.
Sydney Evelyn Barnes.
Mackie Tate Tigert.
Millie Lynn Malika.
Hannah Renee Baker.
Heidi Lynn Baker.
Kaylee Caris Baldwin.
Tyler Allen Baldwin.
Justin Daniel Banta.
Bryson Samuel Cintron Ba.
Brandy Marie Basinger.
Elias Andrew Bennett.
Adley James Benson.
Dylan Kyle Benson.
Rory Benjamin James Bent.
Grant Lee Bernstein.
Atvia Bhatia.
Aaron Reed Black.
Kylie Ann Blackston.
Raina Jean Blake.
Holly Yu Blanet.
Megan Foster Bodman.
Jasmine Aska Boggs.
Curtis Aiden Bolenbaugh.
Kyle Andrew Bossard.
Evelina Bochkova.
Brett Harrison Boyle.
Ian Charles Braddock.
Inika Davidson Brass.
Marshall Hayes Bro.
Wyatt Hamilton Bro.
Brianna Rain Brewster.
Michaela Jean Marie Britch.
Matthew Stephen Brocky.
Austin Lane Bruce.
Grace Marie Buchanan.
Kaysen Jax Buxmeyer.
Haley Luann Burgeon.
Gwyneth Rosa Burrow.
Atticus James Kane.
Ashley Faith Capwell.
Daniela Morgan Carden.
Molly Amelia Carroll.
Robert Cole Carroll.
Nathaniel Russell Chappie.
John Malin Chatterley.
Julia Chatterley.
Aiden Stafford Cheesemore.
Crystal Diana Chung.
Jared Barrett Clark.
Abigail Grace Cole.
Avery Milan Coleman.
Kaylin Melia Collins.
Naheem Jashawn Cologne Sanders.
Anna Severa Lucille Conkling.
Dylan Riley Cornejo.
Colin Shaw Corrigan.
Carissa Lynn Showley Cowan.
Zachary Thomas Cowan.
Zoe Anastasia Cowan.
Hope Victoria Francine Crawford Guarnia.
Nicholas Charles Cregan.
Autumn Quinn Curtis.
Connor Jordan Dalrymple.
Kane Matthew Daniluk.
Lainey Marie Darling.
Tacey Joy Davis.
Layla Jordan Daywood.
Maisie Lauren Day.
Jorge de la Fuente.
Lauren Kathleen De Leonardis.
Thaddeus Merton Dewing.
Aiden Dean Diller.
Reagan Wallace Doherty.
Sophia Rose Ducart.
Candace Ryan Dunford.
Emma Rose Sternberger.
Cole Allen Eck.
Cole Tucker Edmondson.
Jessica Marie Edwards.
Christina Louise Eisner.
Thomas Michael Elgis.
Jake Oliver Engelbrecht.
Alana Rayanne Esp.
Erin Nicole Esty.
Ruth Josephine Evilsizer.
Campbell Leah Katria Fair.
Catherine Ray Farhart.
Julia Ann Fenn.
Samuel Paul Ferreira.
Ryan Alexander Flatt.
Benjamin Abner Flory.
Jacob Augustine Flory.
Jackson James Fox.
Corinne Nicole Friedman.
Ellie Rose Friedman.
Jack Thomas Gardner.
Joshua Caden Gardner.
Jacob Donovan Garland.
Reagan Margaret Gatlin.
Julia Catherine Gentry.
Jonathan Michael Gilbert.
Natalie K. Gervin.
Kyle Andrew Glukert.
Eric Lee Gonzalez.
Jacob Ryan Greeby.
Taylor Grace Greeby.
Emily Louise Gregerson.
Cole Evan Gruen.
Molly Garrett Giberson.
Tiana Noel Gutierrez.
Julia Lauren Hall.
Matthew Kyle Simon Hansen.
Maximus Michael Hansen.
Dylan James Richard Harley.
Hannah Jane Harper.
Grayson Edward Harris.
Reagan Paul Hasselstrom.
Michaela Ann Hine.
Melissa Ann Juju Heine.
Kai Joseph Henry.
Jesse Philip Higley.
Allison Grace Heinz.
Casey Kylie Margaret Hogan.
Kaylee Brooke Hollingsworth.
Lila Grace Hollis.
Ashley Rose Holsinger.
Kelton Christian Hooker.
Deshawn Jared Horsey.
Ainsley Stuart Howell.
Ethan Tinman Tutt.
Catherine Nicole Huaman Marino.
Elijah Koran Hunter.
Evan Raymond Hurtado.
Matthew Allen Keller.
Olivia Jane Jacobson.
Nicholas Isaac Johnson.
Joshua David Johnston.
Christian Douglas Jones.
Morgan Grace Jones.
Rosalind Tiffany Jones.
Samuel Martin Jones.
Taylor Monfort Jocelyn.
Dakota Derek Canoyer Healy.
Emma Catherine Killian.
Abigail Caitlin Kinsey.
Austin Douglas Kloss.
Emily Ray Kretschmer.
Gabriella Elizabeth Krischbaum.
Ellie Pauline Kuhn.
Christopher Aiden Kyle.
Tyler Shane Lahada.
Douglas Amuel LaBeouf II.
Hayden Alexander Locknett.
Nicholas Joseph Ladino.
Christos Alexander Lambert.
Alina Katrina Landon.
Ryan Edmund Cricker.
Jason Fabio Lee.
Brigitte Danae Lillimon.
Nicole Ellison Lindsay.
Evan Joseph Litchfield.
Megan Jesse Lockhart.
Jade Blair Lorzell.
Linnea Madeline LOL Lokima.
Delaney Carmela Longo.
Ariana Jimenez Lopez.
Zoe Grace Mabry.
William Frederick McGuire.
Parmita Madavi.
Jeremy Michael Murray.
William Robert Markworth.
John Ethan Martin.
Nicholas Ray Martin.
James Carroll Matchett.
Molly Marie Matheson.
Logan Otto Mathensons.
Jackson Ryan Mahini.
Benjamin MacArthur.
Jack MacArthur.
Miranda Noel McCauley.
Jolena Raquel Hernando McDonald.
Trinity Joe McDowell.
Rebecca Juliana McIntosh.
Sydney Elizabeth McKenzie.
Drake Jordan McInnes.
Connor Michael McLeod.
Matthew Calvin Metler.
Lana Pamela Meyer.
Tristan Hunter Millar Maddox.
Audrey Alessandra Miller.
Tatum Audrey Miller.
Abigail Cree Miska.
Philip Douglas Malik.
Maya Lynn Hopley Matal.
Sophia Marie Hapley Mittal.
Elijah Junyoung Montoya.
Madeline Ashley Montoya.
Sophie Lynn Moore.
Trina Kalia Laura Moreau.
Annika Jade Morris.
Summer Lynn Morse.
Nia Leanne Moss.
Kyle Brian Neff.
Seaver Brian Nay.
Harrison Joseph Neville Arena.
Dominic James Newton.
Kate Haesung No.
Amy Marie Nolan.
Ryan Hayes O'Connor.
Uriel Ontiveros Agarig.
Liam Cole Painter.
Suzanne Michelle Polka.
Danielle Caitlin Parks.
Bianca Renee Parr.
Haley Elizabeth Payne.
Malia Renee Pereira.
Bailey Gunner Pearson.
Katerina Love Peters.
Quyen Pham.
Megan Ashley Ferris.
Andrew Matthew Pixley.
Wade Everett Poltanovich.
Layla Jules Pruitt.
Sydney Peyton Pruitt.
Hannah Paige Quinn.
Ian Larson Rainsberger.
Caroline Christine Rather.
Madison Louise Reed.
Jenna Svay Richards.
Jordan Helene Richardson.
Alexis Joy Reel.
Aiden Shaw Riggs.
Nathan Samuel Riggs.
Stephanie Namasarai Rapai.
Joseph Marshall Rivera.
Jonathan Yunho Rowe.
Mary Margaret Roberts.
Gabriella Renee Robinson.
William Anthony Robeson.
Betsy Ann Roeder.
Aaron Michael Rodriguez.
Matthew Palmer Roof.
Kira Lenoa Hannah Roselle.
Anna Catherine Rottenborn.
Acacia Noel Riska.
Zachary Michael Ridding.
Elias Antonio Saavedra.
Audrey Isabel Sandell.
Emily Nicole Sanders.
Hansa Sanford.
Wyatt Joseph Scarborough.
Cameron Robert Scarlett.
Aria Elizabeth Schleicher.
Ryan Daniel Schmick.
Robert Donald Schmidt.
Aiden John Schwenke.
Joshua Matthew Secutera.
Sarah Raquel Sitar.
Connor Michael Shannon.
Mina Ray Shearer.
Josiah Raymond Sebring.
Ryan Scott Savinsky.
Brittany Marie Smith.
Riley Leanne Smoke.
Layla Esperanza Solis.
Spencer Ray Spaeth.
John Hawthorne Speechens.
Olivia Ann St. Onge Joyce.
Hayden Rose Stanford.
Calissa Ray Steele.
Amanda Grace Stevenson.
Kelsey Covington Stevens.
Jordan Elizabeth Stokes.
Matthew David Storr II.
Trevor James Sturgis.
Grayson Joel Stutzman.
Cody Thomas Sudol.
Alexander Sutomo Tata.
Gaston Bennett Taylor.
Jennifer Ray Taylor.
Mariah Ashley Taylor.
Alexandra K. Teeples.
Bezowit Deraje Tafera.
William Garrett Thies.
Daniel Logan Thompson.
Tucker Jennings Thompson.
Gwen Tu Tran.
Eliza Kalia Tripp.
Aaron Christopher Triple.
Toby James Ubben.
Ella Jane Renee Urschel.
Justin Scott Vance.
Tyler Reese Varner.
David Reese Ward.
Mary Grace Waterman.
Brittany May Weber.
Natalie Grace Wyland.
Isaac Nathaniel Whitaker.
Braden Alexander White.
Harrison Robert Wilder.
Erin Emily Wilson.
Jalen Jonathan Wynn.
Carter Alexander Wood.
Serene Devon Wood.
Nathan Mitchell Wright.
Peyton Aaron Wyman.
Alex Stephen Yen.
Gabrielle Victoria Young.
Anna Michelle Zappel.
Brandon Michael Zanata.
Elijah Cole Perelius.
How about one more round of applause for our graduates? Outstanding. Before I have Millie come up and speak to you and do the turning of the tassels, one quick reminder. When you're finished with turning of the tassels, please stay standing, and then rows A through J, you will recess to the south, so you guys are going to be heading out this way. And then rows K through N, you're going to be recessing to the west. Remember, we have to continue with our social distancing and follow all of the guidelines that the health department has put forward. So thank you so much for your cooperation with all of this morning and for everything that you've done up to this point. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce Miss Millie.
Class of 2020. We did it. The turning of the tassel represents turning the final page on this chapter of our lives. While we move on to the next, I hope that you all carry the memories made at Air Academy with you, as they have made us who we are today. With that said, class of 2020, if you'll please rise, we will begin the turning of the tassel.
Now, for the first time, I can say Graduates, congratulations, you are dismissed. Great job, Air Academy graduating class of 2020. Parents, relatives, everybody, thank you. We are now dismissing. Our escorts will be taking the rows this way and that way. Congratulations. And remember, once a cadet, always a cadet. Great job.